So Apple just dropped the M4 chip family. And let me tell you, this is way more than just your average annual update. This is a big strategic play that's basically laying the groundwork for the next generation of the Mac. So let's get into what this actually means for you. And, this quote from Johnny Srouji at Apple just nails it. He says, "The rapid pace of innovation continues." And that's exactly what's happening. They aren't just taking baby steps here, they are hitting the accelerator. The M-series chips have already completely changed the game for the Mac. And with the M4, it looks like Apple's just widening their lead. Which brings us to the big question, right? What does all this tech talk actually mean for the Mac you might buy next? So forget the benchmarks and the marketing buzzwords for a second. We're going to connect these powerful new chips to the stuff you'll actually use and maybe help you figure out what your next big purchase could look like.
All right, first things first, let's meet the new family. We're going to break down the new M4 chips and see what makes each one tick.
So Apple's giving us 3 different flavors here: the M4, the M4 Pro, and the M4 Max. Think of the standard M4 as the perfect all-rounder, great for students, entrepreneurs, you name it. Then you step up to the M4 Pro when your workflow gets a bit more serious. And at the very top, well, the M4 Max is just an absolute monster, built for the most demanding pro-level tasks out there. And this table really lays out their whole good, better, best strategy perfectly. The car engine analogy works so well here. The standard M4, that's your super reliable, surprisingly zippy sedan engine. It gets you where you need to go with plenty of power for daily driving. The M4 Pro, now we're in sports car territory. Everything's faster, more responsive, built for high performance. And the M4 Max? That's a Formula One car. It's just engineered for raw, insane speed. We're talking up to 16 CPU cores, 40 GPU cores, and a wild 128 gigs of unified memory. Okay, let's talk numbers, because these are pretty wild. Apple's claiming the M4 Pro's CPU is up to 2.1 times faster than what you'd find in the latest AI PCs. Now, for a developer compiling code or a scientist running complex models, that's not just a number on a chart, it's a huge deal. It means less time staring at a progress bar and more time actually getting work done. It's a massive leap. And then you flip over to the graphics side of things, and the story gets even better. The M4 Pro's GPU is up to 2.4 times faster. So what does that mean in the real world? Well, if you're a creative, you're looking at buttery smooth 3D rendering. If you're a gamer, you're seeing games like Control look absolutely stunning with hardware-accelerated ray tracing. It's just a huge, huge boost for anyone doing visually intensive work. But then there's the M4 Max. And this is where things just get ridiculous. A GPU that's up to 4 times faster than the competition. This chip is built for tasks that would make other computers just completely give up. We're talking about things like processing raw video footage in DaVinci Resolve Studio in real time. That's the level of power we're dealing with here. It's just wow. So we've seen all this raw power, all this horsepower. But you have to ask, what's it all for? Well, all of this performance is being pointed at one very specific target. Let's talk about the real reason for this insane jump: artificial intelligence. And let's be super clear about this. The M4 family was built from the ground up to be the engine for Apple Intelligence. That up to 2x faster neural engine, that's no accident. It is the key component designed to run these powerful new AI features right on your Mac, making the whole experience snappy, seamless, and private. And this isn't some far-off abstract idea. The M4 is powering real tools that you're going to use every single day. Things like system-wide writing tools that can rewrite and proofread your stuff anywhere you type, or the ability to create your own custom Jamoji on the fly. And finally, a redesigned Siri that's way smarter and can actually understand what you're trying to do across different apps. Now, this is maybe the most important part: how Apple is doing AI. The M4 chip is so powerful that it can handle most of what you ask it to do right there on your Mac. That's a huge win for speed and an even bigger win for privacy. But for the really heavy-duty tasks, it uses something called private cloud compute. It sends your data to Apple servers, but with crazy strong privacy protections that mean your data is never stored or used to train their models. It's this hybrid approach that puts your privacy first. Okay, so that's the here and now, but the M4 also gives us this really fascinating peek into what's coming next. Now, for this next part, we're diving into the world of industry reports and rumors, so grab your grain of salt, but this is a look at what could be just around the corner. I mean, just look at Apple's release pattern for these chips. You can see a clear rhythm forming here, right? M1 in late 2020, M2 in mid-2022, M3 in late 2023, and boom, M4 Pro and Max in late 2024. If you follow that trend line, it's why pretty much everyone expects an M4-powered MacBook Air to show up in the spring of 2025. And we could even see the first M5 machines later that year or in early 2026.
But here's the thing. It might not all be about just making the fastest chips even faster. There are whispers and reports pointing to a totally new direction, one that isn't aimed at the super high-end Pro, but at, well, pretty much everyone else.
Just look at that number, $599. According to some pretty solid analyst reports, Apple is seriously exploring a new low-cost MacBook with a target price right around there. If that actually happens, wow, that would be a seismic shift. It would make a brand new MacBook more accessible than it has ever been. So you gotta ask, how on earth would they hit that price point? Well, the rumors suggest it would still have a nice 13-inch display, but instead of a pricey M-series chip, it would be powered by an A-series chip, like the A18 Pro from the iPhone. And this is a really fascinating move. It seems like it's aimed squarely at competing with Chromebooks, especially in that huge education market, a space Apple has been trying to win back for years. So, while Apple might be thinking about a new entry-level Mac, the future for the most powerful Mac seems, well, a little cloudy. The Mac Pro, Apple's top-of-the-line desktop, is way overdue for an update. So why the delay? Reports are saying it's no longer a priority. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Apple Silicon is all about tight integration, memory, graphics, CPU, all on one chip. That makes the whole traditional let the user upgrade it design of the Mac Pro a massive engineering headache for a really, really small group of customers. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. We've got the super powerful M4 chips, this huge push into AI, and all these juicy rumors about the future. What's the big takeaway? What's Apple's next move here? And this slide really just says it all. You've got this potential fork in the road for the Mac. On one path, you have this theoretical M5 Ultra Mac Pro, the absolute pinnacle of computing power for a very small group of elite pros. And on the other path, a rumored low-cost MacBook, powered by a phone chip built for the masses and for students. They are two completely opposite ends of the computing spectrum.
And that really leaves us with this one big, thought-provoking question. Is Apple splitting the Mac's future in two? Are we about to see a future where Apple is simultaneously building the most powerful, expensive machines for pros while also creating a brand new, super accessible entry point for millions of new people? It's a strategy that could completely redefine what we think of as a Mac for the next decade.